Welcome to Unbound, the podcast with Beth Curry, author, storyteller, and survivor. This is where books meet real life, where Beth reads chapters from her work and breaks free from the traditional audiobook format, diving deeper into the personal experiences, lessons, and liberation behind every page. Nothing is off limits. Let's get unbound.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Slang Chronicles, the podcast where confused parents come to feel slightly less confused and then immediately more confused again. I'm your host, Beth Curry, and I'm totally kidding. This is Unbound Off Script, and today I am going to ramble on about the linguistic mystery that is teenagers in 2026. The ones who look at you like you've just spoken ancient Sumerian when you say cool or awesome or something like that. My son was born in 2006. He's developed what I can only describe as a dialect. Not English, not Spanish, something in between, I guess. It's a language where half the words have been basically deleted for efficiency and the other half mean the exact opposite of what they used to mean. It's all so very confusing. So, buckle up because we're going to go on a bit of a journey here. It's a journey I didn't ask for and I can't get off of because, I live with the tour guide. I'm going to start with drippy and dripped out. Now, when I was a kid in the 80s, if something was dripping, it meant it was wet, possibly broken, definitely something you'd get a towel for, but no, not anymore. If you're a teenager or you hear a teenager say someone is dripped out, they're not standing in the rain and they're not leaking. They are apparently dressed impeccably. They have achieved peak fashion. They are dripping with style, I guess. I don't know who decided that moisture equals fashion excellence, but here we are. So my son will come out of his room in an outfit that looks like he got dressed in a dark closet during an earthquake, and he'll say, I'm dripped out today. And I'll look at him. I'll really look at him, right? The oversized hoodie that could house a family of 4 quite easily. The joggers that are somehow both too tight and falling off at the same time. And the shoes that cost more than my first car. And I'll say, you look nice. And he'll say, no, Mom, I'm dripped out. The confidence, the conviction, like he's just stepped off a Milan runway and not out of a bedroom that smells like old socks. But here's the thing. I get it, kinda, because in the 80s, I had a members-only jacket. Just kidding again. I only wish I did. But whatever the fuck I was wearing, I thought I was dripped out too, I guess. I wasn't, but I thought I was, and that's what counts, right? Next up is another one that kind of drives me up the wall just a little bit. Slay. This one throws me for a loop because in my day, slaying involved dragons, I guess, maybe vampires if you were into Buffy, which I never watched. But it was violent and definitive and, someone was definitely dying. But now slay means you're killing it, metaphorically. You're doing amazing. You're crushing life. You're slaying. My son will watch someone do literally anything. Like make a sandwich or parallel park, successfully put on pants, whatever, and he'll go, okay, slay, just like that, casual, like they've just defeated an ancient evil and not simply completed a basic human task. I asked him once again, what does that even mean? And he looks at me like I'd asked him to explain quantum physics or something. Mom, it means they're slaying, they're doing good. Doing well, I corrected. Bruh, and we'll get into bruh in a minute. You will get there for sure. But slay is interesting because it's one of those words that's been kind of adopted universally. Everyone's slaying now. Your grandma's posting a selfie on Facebook. Slay, grandma. Your dog successfully catches a treat. Slay, king. The mailman delivers your package on time. Absolute slay. It's lost all meaning. It's been slayed to death, which ironically is what slaying actually used to mean. Okay, so I'm going to talk about bruh now. Bruh. Bruh is not a word. It's a lifestyle. It's a philosophy. It's a verbal eye roll, a sigh, a commentary on the absurdity of existence, all condensed into one syllable. I have a shirt. It was a Mother's Day gift from my lovely son, and it says, Ma, Mama, Mummy, Bruh. Because apparently that's the progression. I don't know. You start with the sweet, innocent ma when they're just wee little babies and young and they need something. And then mama when they're a bit older and trying to be endearing. And then mommy when they're really desperate. And then somewhere in the teen years, it's just bruh. It's not even mom anymore. It's just bruh. Bruh. It's just a noise, like, really. Like, I'm his exhausted friend who's been through too much to care about formalities or something. And the thing is, apparently, bruh is versatile. It's an all-purpose word, disappointment, bruh. Surprise, bruh. Agreement, bruh. Disagreement, also bruh, but with a different inflection. I don't know. It's like replaced entire sentences. I'll say something like, can you take the garbage out? And he'll respond, bruh. Somehow I'm supposed to know what that means. Does it mean yes? No? Maybe? Is he contemplating the existential weight of trash removal? I don't know. I've stopped asking. But here's the thing. In the 80s, I said dude exactly the same way. I still say dude. Dude was my bruh. My parents would ask me to do something and I'd go, dude, seriously? So really, I have no room to talk, I guess. The bruh-ification of language is just history repeating itself, right? Am I right? I don't know. So something else related to bruh is cuh. C-U-H. It's short for cousin, but, and here's where it gets weird, you don't have to be related to call someone cuh. It's like bruh, but somehow more casual, like it's more street or something, more, I don't know, like you've been through something together, even though you've just met 5 minutes ago at 7-Eleven. I don't know. My son will be talking to his friends and I'll hear, yo, cuh, you trying to go to the mall? And I'll think, wait, when did we adopt someone? Do I have a nephew? I don't know. But no, cuh is just another way of saying bruh, which is another way of saying dude, which is another way of saying man, which is another way of saying friend. We've come full circle, guys. We've created like an entire thesaurus of casual acknowledgement, and somehow it all means the same damn thing. Like in the 80s, we had man. Hey, man, come on, man, that's crazy. Now they have bruh and cuh and probably 17 other variations I haven't even learned yet. And language is evolving, or it's devolving. I honestly can't tell anymore. Drives me nuts. Okay, so just a content warning? No, I'm not going to do that. Because I always mark my episodes as explicit anyway, and we're all grown-ups here, right? And this is just ridiculous. This is not even a grown-up thing. We need to talk about p and d. These are apparently abbreviations. They're short for words that start with P and D that I would prefer not to say on a semi-family friendly podcast about linguistics. I mean, I can say, no, I'm not going to do it. D is dick, okay? And P is, another word for what we call our cats. They're what boomers and older people call kitty cats. But what kills me, we've reached a point where teens can't even be bothered to say the full slang word anymore. They've abbreviated the abbreviations. It's slang inception. My son will be texting his friends and I'll glance over because, yes, I'm that parent, and I'll see P and D peppered throughout a conversation like it's some kind of consonant seasoning or something. I asked him, what does that even mean? And he looked at me, he blinked, and he said, bruh. Of course the answer is bruh. But here's the thing. In the 80s, we abbreviated stuff too. We said probably. I didn't. That was one that really bugged me. But we would say probably instead of probably, or gonna instead of going to, when I do my voice to text shit all the time, like when I'm driving and stuff. Anytime I say I'm going to, it just automatically puts it as gonna, so everyone knows when I'm doing voice to text. But anyway, we were efficiency experts, right? We didn't abbreviate slang though. That kind of feels like a bridge too far. It feels like we've given up entirely. Like, what's next? Are they just going to start communicating in single letters? I mean, I think they might do that now. P, D, B, just consonants flying back and forth like some sort of Morse code. Knowing teens, yeah, probably. That's absolutely what's next. If it's not already happening, and I feel like it might be. I don't know. Okay, so this one makes me laugh. And whatever. Deep breath. Let's talk about smashed and cracked Now, in my innocent, naive brain, smashed meant you broke something, or maybe you had too much to drink. Cracked meant you, I don't know, something had a fissure in it. Maybe you dropped your phone. Sad. So sad, but fixable. But no, oh no. Teen speak, smashed, and cracked are, well, they are terms for sexual activity. Yep. I found this out the hard way when my son was talking to his friend on speakerphone because apparently privacy is dead. And I heard, yeah, bro, he totally smashed. And I'm thinking, okay, we talking about video games or some kind of sports achievement? I chimed in cheerfully, oh, what did he smash? And the silence that followed could have powered a small city. My son looked at me. His friend on the phone went quiet, and then slowly, like he was explaining color to a goldfish, my son said, Mom, we're not talking about smashing things. Oh, I said. Yeah. Oh. And that's when I learned that smashed and cracked are not about physical objects. They're about other things. Things I won't go on about because this is a podcast and I have dignity. But here's what's wild. In the 80s, we had our own euphemisms as well. We had hooked up and scored and all kinds of ridiculous coded language because heaven forbid we just say what we meant. So really, this is just history repeating itself, right? Every generation invents new ways to talk about the same stuff because talking about it directly is apparently too uncomfortable. Or we think we're fooling our dumbass parents. We were never fooling our parents because I'm barely being fooled anymore. But I think we're all just kind of uncomfortable teenagers at heart, right? So this is what I think is funny. During a recent podcast I did with Nate, one that was a bit deeper and more vulnerable, his 54-year-old ass used the term cracked, as in it broke him. And I had a hard time keeping it together. He asked after, and I had to explain. It's a wild experience. We both decided it would be okay to keep that part in because teenagers aren't listening to that episode, and old people like us, well, we just know. So before I move on, I want to talk about rizz, because if you have a teen or if you've ever overheard teens in the wild, you've heard it. Bro's got rizz. He's got zero rizz, unspoken rizz, NPC rizz, negative rizz. Rizz, for those of us who did not attend TikTok University, is short for charisma. Yes, these children have shortened charisma, a word that was already only 3 syllables. Efficiency kings they are, aren't they? Rizz is your ability to talk to people, especially people you're attracted to, without embarrassing yourself. It's confidence and charm and vibe and energy and presence. It's the thing that makes someone say, I don't know why, but people like him. That's rizz. What kills me is that rizz has become a measurable resource, like gas or battery life. He ran out of rizz. That was a rizz fail. Bro spent all his rizz in the first 5 minutes. Like, charisma is something you can deplete if you talk too much. And honestly, I guess they're not wrong. I asked my son if rizz is something you're born with or something you learn. He said both, but mostly aura. Aura, we'll get there. But rizz apparently can be natural rizz, which is effortless, forced rizz, which is painful to watch, accidental rizz, you didn't mean to be charming, but here we are, and zero rizz, which is pretty self-explanatory. Zero rizz is something that he believes his father has. So anyway, because, when you're 19, your dad's not cool. In the 80s, we called this having game or being smooth, or if you were me, being awkward but hopeful. Same concept, new branding. So yeah, back to aura. Aura is this invisible energy you give off. It's your vibe, but louder, a little more spiritual, slightly threatening, I guess. Teens will say things like, that killed his aura, or she gained aura points, or that was an aura loss, or that's an aura win. Like, life is a video game and your social reputation is being tracked by an unseen leaderboard or something. I don't know. Aura is why someone can walk into a room and immediately command attention or immediately make everyone uncomfortable. It's not what you say or what you wear. It's how you exist, kids, which is deeply unfair, honestly, because now it's not enough to just behave correctly. You have to emit the correct frequency. And of course, in the 80s, we called this cool. He's cool. She's not cool. That was uncool. That was aura. We just didn't monetize it. Another term that you'll hear floating around is NPC. Apparently, I'm an NPC. Anybody over the age of, 23 is an NPC. But especially as older people and boomers, grandparents, all of us, we're all just NPCs. And NPC stands for non-playable character, a video game term for background characters who exist only to fill space. In teen speak, calling someone an NPC is not a compliment. It means oblivious or unoriginal, just kind of there, walking through life with no side quests. If someone says, that guy has NPC energy, it means he's giving beige. And when I say he's giving, I'm going to get to that one too. Default settings, stock personality, and yeah, that sounds harsh, but in the 80s we said things like, he's a tool, she's a poser, they're such a square, same judgment, different controller, I guess, right? So, I'm going to do a quick lightning round here of a few more. So, bet, that means okay, agreed, understood, done, not gambling, not wagering, just yes, take out the trash, bet. No cap, that means I'm telling the truth, no lie, for real. I actually like your music taste, no cap, which implies that most of the time there is cap. Say less means you don't need to explain further. I'm already on board. It's agreement, but confident agreement. In the 80s, this was got it, say no more, I'm in. Same vibe, less syllables, which this generation should love, right? So yeah, every generation thinks the next one is ruining language, and every generation is wrong because slang isn't about words. It's more about like belonging and identity and I guess speed and saying I'm part of this moment. And in the 80s we had our code, and now in 2026 they have theirs. And one day, they're going to hear their kids say something completely asinine and incomprehensible and think, what the hell does that even mean? And somewhere the universe will whisper, bruh. So yeah, mid. That's another one. 3 letters, 1 syllable, absolute emotional destruction. Mid means mediocre, average, unremarkable, forgettable, not bad enough to complain about, not good enough to praise. And here's why it's brutal. You cannot argue with mid. If something is bad, you can defend it. If something is great, it speaks for itself. But mid is just there. It just exists. Crew will try a meal I've cooked, something that took time and effort and emotional investment, and he'll say, it's kind of mid, not terrible, not gross, not even I don't like it, just mid, which is somehow worse because mid implies disappointment, like you expected better, and this simply did not rise to the occasion. Movies are mid, music is mid, outfits are mid, entire human beings are mid. I've heard teens refer to mid-energy, mid-behavior, mid-personality. Do you understand how violent that is? In the 80s, if we didn't like something, we said it sucked. That was dramatic, emotional, there was passion there, but mid has no passion. It's sterile, like it's clinical. It's a shrug in word form. And the worst part is it's contagious because once something is labeled mid, it can never fully recover. You don't ever come back from mid. You really don't. One I mentioned before, it's a phrase that makes my eye twitch. It's giving. That's it. That's the phrase. No subject, no verb agreement, no destination. Just it's giving. It's giving confidence. It's giving main character. It's giving unhinged. It's giving mid. It's giving something. Something. What is it? What is being given? Who is giving it? To whom? Like, none of that shit matters. It's giving is shorthand for this reminds me of, this has the energy of, this evokes the feeling of, but with all the grammar just surgically removed. Crew will look at an outfit and say, it's giving dad at a barbecue. And somehow I understand exactly what he means, which is upsetting because now I'm fluent. In the 80s, we said it's very, or it's kind of like, or it reminds me of, and they say it's giving. Same thought, faster delivery, no commitment whatsoever. And what I really hate, it's giving can be positive or negative, and you don't know which until the second half of the sentence. It's giving confident. Okay, nice. It's giving desperate. Oh no. It's giving mid. Absolute fatality. So yeah, you're just standing there waiting for judgment to drop. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Mid, and it's giving live in the same ecosystem as main character energy. Main character energy means confidence, presence, agency, plot relevance, all of those things. If you have main character energy, people notice you, the camera follows you, life happens to you. And if you don't, congratulations, you're mid. probably NPC, definitely not driving the story. In the 80s, we didn't say main character energy. We said, she thinks she's all that, or he's got big personality, or they're dramatic. Same thing, right? But what, really, really bugs me is that teens say this out loud to people without flinching. I've heard that was mid, your joke was mid, that response was mid, no cushioning, no softening language, no offense, just mid. And if you react, if you're offended, if you have follow-up questions, now you've made it worse because now it's mid-reaction, mid-energy, doing too much. There's no winning. Mid is dumb. It's giving is dumb. Mid hurts because it attacks one thing we all want, and that's significance, right? Nobody wants to be extraordinary all the time, but nobody wants to be forgettable either. So mid isn't an insult, it's a dismissal. And somehow teens figured out that this would absolutely destroy us. Respect. So yes, mid is devastating. Its giving is unfinished but effective. Rizz is charisma with a scoreboard. Aura is vibes with consequences, and I hate that I understand all of it. It's giving growth, which is not mid. Bruh. So here's the thing I keep coming back to. When I was a teen in the 80s, I drove my parents absolutely insane with my slang. We all did. I said radical and tubular and gagged me with a spoon like I was auditioning for a role in a John Hughes movie. My mom would look at me and say, I don't understand a word you're saying. My Nana would just stare at me. I'd roll my eyes and think, ugh, she's so old, she just doesn't get it. And now here I am on the other side, listening to my son say bruh and cuh and drippy and dripped out. And I think, I don't understand a word you're saying. And he rolls his eyes and thinks, ugh, she's so old, she doesn't get it. It's really the circle of life, isn't it? Except instead of lions and gazelles, it's parents and teens locked in an eternal battle of linguistic confusion. But you know what? I kind of love it. I don't know. Because language evolves, culture evolves. Every generation finds new ways to express the same fundamental truths. I look good, I'm tired, my friends are cool, life is weird, right? In the 80s, I said rad, and now my kid might say slay. I haven't really heard him say it a lot, though, but his friends would. It's chaotic, and it's funny, and it's frustrating, and it makes me feel ancient, and I don't know, it's cool. So, yeah, what have we learned? Dripped out means fashionable, not wet. Slay means you're killing it, but not actually killing anything. Bruh is a universal response to everything. Try that with your boss on Monday. Yeah. Cuh is bruh, but make it familiar. Puh and deh are abbreviations of slang because why not just burn the whole dictionary? And smashed and cracked are not about breaking things. And I'm not recovering from that revelation or the fact that Grandpa Nate used it it's just funny. But most importantly, we've learned that every generation thinks they've invented the wheel when really we're all just riding the same bike in different directions. Crew will grow up, he'll have kids, and one day those kids will use slang that makes bruh sound like Shakespeare or something, and he'll be confused and tired, and he'll think, I don't understand a word you're saying, and the cycle will just continue. So yeah, that's it. I have so much more, but this is too long for a bunch of nonsense. So if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and maybe ask your teen what bruh means. They probably won't explain it. They'll just say bruh in response, but that's okay. We're all doing our best here as the old fogies that we are. Till next time, stay dripped out, keep slaying, and remember, language is weird, and teenagers are weirder, and we were all weird once too. Bruh.
Thanks for listening to Unbound with Beth Curry. Join the conversation in the Facebook group or visit author-bethcurry.com. Want to support the show? Head to ko-fi.com/unbound podcast. Until next time, stay unbound.